jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
Into World Combat Sports. What's good, everyone? Salute. We're what, a couple of days out from Thanksgiving. Of course, I want to give a shout out to the workers out there. You know, those of you that's out there grinding, even in the holidays, man. Provide for yourself and your family. You know what I'm saying? Staying healthy. That's what it's all about. Staying virus free. You know what I'm saying? And just enjoying life. Give a big shout out to the WCS supporters, man. Those who mess with the channel support. It is all good. I appreciate you. Also, I want to give a big salute and a happy Thanksgiving to everyone, because I know the closer you get to the holidays, people are gonna be doing what they do. So it's all cool. It's all cool. Give me a minute while I get this shared. Looking at the thumbnail, man, just soak it all in. Just soak that all in. About to get a little hot. About to get a little hot up in here, man. Soak that thumbnail in just for a minute. Give me a minute. Make this work. Shout out to Teen Williams Jr., man. That is who's on the thumbnail right now. You know what I'm saying? We have a big fight coming up December 11th. Yeah, the echo. Let the echo snap. You know, Teen Williams Jr. stepping in there December 11th. And as you see already, it's going to be at Madison Square Garden. This is a big fight for both fighters. Shout out to King Mitch first in the building. On deck, man. What it do? Teen Williams Jr. on deck. Madison Square Garden, man. December 11th. It's going to be around the corner real soon. You know what I'm saying? So what I want you to do is pretty much support the fight. It's going to be on the undercard of Vasily Lomachenko and Richard Comey. So it's going to be fire. It's going to be a hot card. And to be truthful, you know, Michael Williams Jr. is bringing a huge fan base into that fight. It's a lot of people that's talking about this fight, regardless if he's never fought on TV or not. There's a sense of intrigue when it comes to Michael Williams Jr. because him and his team has pretty much been independently raised in this boxing game. Like his pops didn't just join the team. I mean, you know, just come out the blue, you know, a couple of years ago and say, yeah, I want to do this, that. No, he's been with him since the amateurs. You know, he's been raising them up. He's been in there sparring with some of the big names. They had the opportunity to train with some of the bigger names in the sport. As you know well as I do, in this sport, everybody is elevated in the sport differently. You know, you have some fighters out there with a certain number of fights, like Teofimo Lopez, that was able to earn world championships with 15 fights. Become undisputed at 16. And then you have others who are like 24, 30 fights in, they're still fighting for the world championship. So really, there's no rush in boxing. You just have to make sure you do it, because at the end of the day, you know, your flowers can come early in your career, middle of your career or late in your career. You know, we seen George Foreman come in here and knock out Michael Moore. We seen B Hop. We seen Archie Moore. We seen a lot of people that has been in the sport, um, and just did it their way. But this particular fight, John Bauza, if you out there listening, I'm telling you, this is not easy for you. This is not easy money for you. No matter what your single fan on YouTube is hyping you up to be, this is not easy work for you, John Bauza. So don't even let anybody tell you any different. We out there listening to your interview. You said you don't even know if Michael Williams will even make weight. I know that's your concern. You're pretty much concerned of all the collateral, discrepancies that you might run into, that the other fighter may run into, instead of hoping, say, okay, I hope he brings everything he needs to the fight, hope he makes weight and everything else. You shouldn't be concerned about anybody balancing the scales except you. Your issue is you're the one that have to step in there with Michael Williams Jr. on fight night. You're the one that have to look at and assess his resume and turn around and digest it however you feel like. And then when it's time for you to perform, you're going to have to collect the data on what you've seen on his resume to see if that's who you in the ring with. That's who you're going to have to see. You're going to have to see, why are you in the act of boxing, Boy Wonder? You're going to have to make a determination. Does he hold true value and appraisal to his resume? Because, I hate to use it, but everybody can do the eye test off characters on the resume. And then sometimes when you get into the ring with them, that's a whole different story. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Knockout Boxing 86 TV on deck. What they do there, Knockout. And definitely go subscribe to Knockout Boxing. Very analytical brother. Awesome boxing channel. Support him anytime you get the chance, bro. For real. He said, hey, bro, I'm opening up at 7:30 for Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford conversation. Would love to have you come through if you have the time. Yeah, I have to pretty much check that out for sure. Because this time it's going to be strictly about Bud Crawford and Errol Spence. You don't have to talk about Sean Porter no more. But my boy Michael Williams Jr., man, is a much more talented fighter than people give him credit to. And they're definitely going to find that out once these two fighters step into the ring. So, last night I'm just chilling. It's late night, shawty. And I'm on YouTube. And I've absolutely been keeping very, very quiet. I've been reserving my silence. And then I heard Conor, Loco Sports, say that Michael Williams is getting knocked out. So I said, okay, the gloves are off now. It's nothing personal with Conor. I got his number. He has my number. It's all good. But Conor, Local Sports, the panel is open to you, my brother. If you want to come over here and advocate for your fighter, because you're the only fan he has on YouTube, I would definitely like to have a dialogue with you there, Conor. You know what I'm saying? Outside of somebody else's panel, I would definitely like to, have a dialogue about this fight. And so we can kind of speak on some things. Because you said my boy's getting knocked out. You pretty much threw a jab talking about I've been there when he was knocked down. So I just want to touch bases with you, voice to voice. I mean, man to man, boxer to boxer. So we can kind of understand potentially what's going down in Madison Square Garden. You know what I'm saying? I want to help you understand that your boy Bowser's in trouble. Bowser's in trouble, man. He never faced nobody like Michael Williams Jr. in his career. You can look at the 19-0, but he never faced anybody like Michael Williams in his career. Know that. So I'm gonna drop the link because I want to be polite. And if there's any John Bauza fans out there, I'm dropping a link for you. He needs more fans. I don't care where they come from because, Boy Wonder has enough. But I want to put the link out there. And I just want to, talk to his one fan that's out there so we can kind of talk this fight up, man, before December 11th, man. We need to talk it up. Man, I was cool. I was quiet. But now you done took off the gloves and threw the first shot. Now you got to come get this gas, dog. You have to explain how you feel that um Michael Williams Jr. is going to get knocked out. As long as we've been watching boxing, we've seen people go in there and get stopped by opponents, and then return in a rematch and go the distance. So if your boy John Bauza has never faced anybody like Michael Williams Jr., how are you confident that with his style and his experience that he's going to go in there and knock out my boy? You have to explain to do, man. You have to some explain to do, Conor. Come on, my friend. Come on, man. Come get this gas, man. Anybody out there? I'm calling out Conor Loco Sports. He know what it's about. This ain't personal, so don't come on here ranting and raving. None of that shit. I don't even want to hear it. We're talking strictly boxing, man. Let me text him. Let me text him because I do have his number. Let me text him. He might be at work though. And this is no personal shit with Conor, man. This is straight boxing. You know what I'm saying? I want Conor Loco to pull up and talk this fight up on Madison Square Garden December 11th. And if you're looking at the thumbnail, Michael Williams Jr. is the second from the right. So I sent the text out there. Let me see. If y'all don't know this fighter, man, look up Michael Williams Jr., man. Google him. For real. I'm not speaking down to y'all. Just Google him and everything. And we really need to talk up this fight because it's a big deal with two fighters that's it has fairly decent recognition. They don't have star power on the highest level, but come December 11th, they are fighting on the biggest stage of their career. It's a big deal. It's good because they both have undefeated records, and we're not talking about 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. John Bauza is 15-0. Michael Williams Jr. is 19-0. You know what I'm saying? So look up his record. Hold on for a second. Why is this not? So this fight is going to be a top ranked card on the undercard of Vasyl Lomachenko. I'm about to show you all the undercard. Of course, when it comes down to the bigger names, Lomachenko, Richard Comey, former world champions, they're going to get promoted the most. So you're going to see mostly their names out there on the flyers being promoted. So it's up to us, um, new media, to pretty much put it out there about the fighters, the other fighters that's on the card. In this case, I'm talking nothing about, I'm talking strictly about Michael Williams Jr. and John Bauza. Now they have Jared Anderson fighting on the card also. But my main concern is the fight that's going on undercard. Let's see. So I really wanted to talk it up with Conor, but he may be at work right now, which is all good. I still give Conor the smoke for remotely. I still give you the smoke remotely that Conor. Your boy Bauza is in trouble, and you totally understand it. You in boxing, you understand he's in trouble. He has to go in there and deal with a taller fighter. You know what I'm saying? A much stronger fighter. I know you mentioned the other night, that you was pretty much content that Michael Williams Jr. get knocked out. But let me explain something to you about that. It's not going to be as easy as you believe it to be, just going off the eye test of how many fights that they've had in general. You have to dig a little bit deeper when you mention the adversity that Michael Williams Jr. has been in and what he's recovered from. If you mention that adversity, him being knocked down in a couple of his fights and getting back up and winning the fight, you have to praise him, just like they do all these other fighters that get knocked down and get up and come back and win. Virgil Ortiz, when he was in trouble in two big fights of his, what I'm saying? Two big fights of his, he was in trouble, but he rallied back and won. Michael Williams Jr. did the same thing. He was knocked down and he rallied back and won. He still has an undefeated record. That shit builds fortitude. That builds confidence. That builds durability. And also it provides that boxer with that mental edge as far as experience goes, fighting through adversity. They pretty much understand what adversity is. I'm just trying to find out where John Bauza's had adversity at, bro. I like Bauza to kind of explain that. What fight has he had adversity like Michael Williams Jr. and fought back and won that fight? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Conor Loco Sports on deck. What's good? It's all good, Conor. We'll chop it up sooner or later. John Bauza 15 victories that he do have. He has 5 knockouts. So logically to me, it doesn't have to be any type of credits that I earned in college to figure this out mathematically. That Bauza with the opponents that he have on his record, he was only able to stop 5 of them, which to me, that's just minimal. That's minimal damage inflicted to stop your opponent. No matter who they are, that's minimal damage inflicted. Talking about his capabilities to stop an opponent. Now, he's not going to all of a sudden grow into this power barometer and start knocking motherfuckers out as he get older. It's not going to happen, dog. So with 5 cinco knockouts, right? Just 5 knockouts. How is that going to play out when he's stepping there with a pure boxer trained by Roy Jones Jr. come December 11th? How is he going to get past the jab, first of all? You know what I'm saying? How is that going to happen, Conor? You need to let your boy know. I didn't throw the first stop. Wait. How is he going to just get past the jab? I'm just curious to know how that's going to work for him. Because he's not a knockout artist and he doesn't have faster hands. So my assumption would be that Bauza will have to try to, close the window a little bit, get in a little bit closer and try to, make it a roughhouse type of fight a little bit and see can he land that punch. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing, because I don't see him outboxing Michael Williams. I don't see that. And it's a good time for Boy Wonder to step up there on the big stage and showcase his skills. Period. And John Bauza is a good opposition for him to do that. Real talk. John Bauza is a good opposition for him to go in there and get this in. And we're going to get it in there. We're going to get it in there, John Bauza. We're going to get it in for you. If you out there and if you need someone to talk to about this fight, we need to build up the fight. We need to give extra, outside promotion for this fight there, John. So we need your participation, and we already got Team Williams' participation. It's nothing, personal. It's just we trying to build up the fight for the fans. So since Conor, said you was gonna get knocked out, Michael Williams gonna get knocked out. I just want to try to touch bases and see what the evidence is. Like, what is the evidence, yo? What's the evidence? That's all. Pete Davenport on deck, man. What's good? Happy holidays to everybody that's on in the live chat right now. Pete said, peace, big bro. Peace to you, man. Appreciate all you do for the channel there, Pete Davenport in the building. I just want to know, you know what I'm saying? I just want some type of explanation because, people need to know who John Bauza is. For real. And more people can know who Michael Williams Jr. is leading up to this fight. And, World Combat Sports is definitely gonna talk up the fight from here all the way out. We had the green light. Top Rank has already put it out there that the fight is going down. So everything's a go. Everything's a green light. Except, has anybody seen John Bauza though? I want to get a hold of Bauza so we can talk. And Conor is the only gateway, from my understanding, that was on here that I've seen have John Bauza on the show. So salute to Conor for being the one fan on YouTube that knows John Bauza, dog. You know what I'm saying? So I need to get a Bauza and talk to him and kind of have a boxing dialogue, about his upcoming fight December 11th. And ask him, do he understand the severity of who he's stepping in there with? Do he totally understand and assess the danger close that's associated with the boxing skills of Michael Williams Jr.? Yes. I just want to know, people. Send the SOS. Send out the SOS to John Bauza, 15-0, 5 knockouts, and explain to me why it was said that my boy getting knocked out. He said Michael Williams Jr. is getting knocked out and I need answers. I need answers. I need answers today, tomorrow. I need answers on how that's going to happen. Why y'all sleeping on Michael Williams Jr., man? Because y'all don't know him? He don't talk shit. Very likable kid. You know what I'm saying? Well-spoken, career-orientated, family support system. Got his shit out the mud. Never had no silver spoon in his mouth. Upstanding citizen. Help out in the community. All that. But there are people out here that speak for him and advocate for him. And that's where I come in at. That's where World Combat Sports come in at. You know what I'm saying? I've known the team for quite some time now. That's where I come in at. I can be the gap. I can bridge the gap between Bauza and Williams Jr. I just need to understand if anybody knows the remote location for John Bauza. Tell him to paddle into shore. All right. I know he out there somewhere, you know what I'm saying, behind a community gas station, hitting an old bag or something, hitting some damn old, Toyota Tonka toy trucks, tires or whatever, or some old sanitation truck tires. Probably swinging that sledgehammer, trying to get strong, out there running his ass off. You know what I'm saying? Doing log drills. But I just want to talk to you for a minute. Like, who's preparing you for this fight? If y'all gonna look at the record, y'all better go look at the fights too. There's plenty of them out there. Go look at the fights. Go look at the ones, especially that he had adversity in. Check it out all the way from the time he had adversity all the way to the time he finished. I guarantee you that shit would add up to that oldest on this record. I guarantee you. He's been through more adversity than John Bauza. Same to you and your family. Appreciate that, Pete. Appreciate that, Pete. I know we got some people over there where John Bowser's at, man. You know what I'm saying? He can have his team come over here or whatever, you know. I tell people all the time, it's not just because somebody train a fighter don't mean they know about boxing. I don't have a problem speaking about to anybody that train boxers, that talk boxing or whatever. I definitely would like to, you know, talk to John Bowser's himself or his team about this fight and do and the magnitude for him having the biggest step up fight of his career. This is not going to be a highlight, John Bowser, because you have no highlight reels. We've been in the backwoods. You know what I'm saying? You take the experience that you have in boxing and you take the experience of Michael Williams Jr. He has more. He exceeds what you put in the professional sport of boxing. You need to be aware of that. You need to be aware of it. You need to understand that somehow, some way, I don't know who picked this fight for you, but I hope they included you in the decision-making process. They say, hey, John, we have this kid, Michael Williams. You feel like that's something you want to step in the ring with next? I hope you didn't say some shit like, well, the name sounds cool. Michael Williams, what's his record? He's 19-0. Oh, four more wins than me. All right. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. It's cool. You know, I mean, when they're talking about December, where? Madison Square Garden. Oh, yeah, cool. I hope you did a little bit more research than just nodding your head. Yeah. I'm fine. Whenever you call, I'm here. So John, you want to take a look at film or something like that? I'll do that later, man. I'll do that later. You know what I'm saying? He can't be that bad. You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all wouldn't even be bringing him to me if he was that dangerous. He can't be that bad. So just go ahead. Let's sign this contract, man. Let's go. I got to get in camp. You know, I got to get in camp. We'll look at the film later. Go ahead, sign the fight. I hope that's not what happened there, John, because if that's the case, you need to fire your team immediately. You need to fire them immediately, bro. For real. What's going on, Drew Titan LLC in the building? What's good there, Drew? Y'all definitely go check out Drew Titan LLC, man. Be having solid interviews on there and boxing content, daily boxing content, man. This fight, I'm speaking up to Team Williams because of one, I've known him for quite some time, and also they're not going to get promotion from Top Rank like the Vasily Lomachenkos and Richard Comey. Why? Because obviously they haven't been world champions yet. They're building their ladder. They're climbing the ladder up. So they're not there. But, you know, I feel free to advocate for Michael Williams Jr. now that I've heard with my own ears from Conor Loco that my boy is getting knocked out. And that is, look, this is without provocation for me. I did not provocate the first arrow that was damn shot my way. You know what I'm saying? He believed that I wasn't in the building, which I'm always somewhere listening, whether it's on the road or the building. But me and Conor, man, we're gonna have to talk this out, man. We definitely, one of the two people that's on here, he's building up his boy John Bowser. I'm building up my boy Michael Williams Jr. And we definitely need to have a boxing dialogue about the resumes, since that seems to be the big topic of discussion. Because John Bowser, I've looked at his resume several times with 15 victories, and you want to say that Michael Williams Jr. didn't fight anybody, yet and still equally we can say that about John Bauza too. And John Bauza is fighting on TV. He hasn't fought. For him to be fighting on TV and be beneath the umbra, the promotional umbra of Top Rank, I'm not impressed, man. I'm not impressed. You only have a little bit of 6 rounders and some 8 rounders, but when it comes down to it, Michael Williams Jr. has fought more 6 rounders and more 8 rounders than you, which all that entails equals to more experience of opponents that he's been in there and ring time. You know what I'm saying? He's fought more 8 rounders than John Bauza. Really. Their resume doesn't separate just because he's been on TV and he has the exposure. And for what Conor said, he's been fighting in obscurity. Conor said, "My boy been fighting in obscurity, dog." See, I let that slide too. I was like, okay, all right. But now it's on and popping. When you mention a knockout, it's on and popping, dog. I got to speak up for Michael Williams. I got to let the world know, let the YouTube community know that John Bauza, him signing it, I think he totally understand the magnitude of who he going in there with. Seriously, I've been to several Michael Williams fight. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen him go through the adversity, but that's not even the topic. Like, that's not even the primary topic. I'm just mentioning it because it was said that he was going to get knocked out. My whole point is I've seen his growth. I've been down there to Roy Jones Jr. and seen him train throughout the years, rise up, put on muscle, grow into a man. You know what I'm saying? And he can box his ass off. And if it comes down to it, he's an entertainer in the ring. You know what I'm saying? He has excellent footwork comparable to John Bauza. His hand speed is better than John Bauza. And to be honest with you, I truly believe styles make fights. And if the right punch land, he can knock out John Bauza. I seriously believe so. You just can't say just because John Bauza haven't been knocked out, this is not the moment that he can get his chin tested. Definitely, I believe Michael Williams potentially, if the opportunity presents itself, he can stop John Bauza. He has more knockouts than John Bauza. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. He has more knockouts. It's not a huge conversational piece. You know, John Bauza has 5 knockouts. Michael Williams Jr. has 12. It's not a huge conversational piece, but it's relevant to the conversation. You feel me? Conor said, "Stop it, bro. I ain't scared. I ain't a scared person. I knew you was there." No one knew I was there. I was in the shadows, Conor. I was in the shadows. Appreciate you promoting the fight, though. I do. I appreciate you promoting the fight because that's what it's all about. I know when the fight was mentioned, you know what I'm saying? He put it out there before really Top Rank was really given the green light. So he did put the fight out there for these youngins because they are some young warriors in the game. So in that perspective, I do credit you with that, man. Much respect to giving these fighters exposure. You feel me? But at the end of the day, you pull back the slingshot, dog. And you said, "My boy is getting knocked out." You don't have to say anything else. You don't have to say anything else. You think your boy, John Bauza, 5 knockouts, 15 wins, is going to go in here and do something nobody else was able to do. What makes John Bauza any better than opposition? And look, Michael Williams has fought guys who was MMA and boxing practitioners, boxing competitors. They train in MMA, they compete in MMA, and compete in professional boxing. He's been in there with guys who had way more experience than he did in MMA and boxing. And if you want to talk about one of the fights, yeah, he did get knocked down twice, right? But he was able to make it to the final bell and fight to the end and maintain his undefeated streak. But that's not even the biggest part of it, Conor. Your boy John Bauza's never been in there with an opponent as tough as Michael Williams Jr. He's been selectively fed certain opponents, just like Michael Williams Jr., to build his resume. So they're kind of equal on that playing field. That's what boxing does. They build up their opponents and they try to maintain that undefeated record. And if some fighters are able to fight on TV, cool. But just because Michael Williams Jr. hasn't fought on TV doesn't mean he's been fighting in obscurity. He's actually fought on UFC Fight Pass before. So that's what I'm saying. Their notoriety to the public when it comes to fighting on the big stage, it's not that much separation there. Except, John Bauza is over there with Top Rank. But what your boy is going to do there, Conor, when he see the hand speed firsthand, up close and personal, when he sees the range, bro, the footwork. One thing about Bauza, he loses it sometimes. He don't have that poise. He just go all Sean Porter. He want to go all in. He tried to close the distance. Okay, that's what it is. He tries to bring the entertainment. You know what I'm saying? He tried to make it a tough, drag out fight. He tried to bring a little bit of intensity. But he's not the most exciting fighter. So that's why Michael Williams is going to be a perfect opponent because, Michael Williams is a showman. He's an entertainer. And December 11th, he coming there to entertain Bauza. He's coming in there to put in that work and entertain Bauza and send him back 15-1. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole plan. That's the whole mission there, Conor. I don't know if you totally grasp it or understand it, but that is the mission. That is the end state of December 11th, my brother. That's the mission. I mean, it's a great time, to be honest with you. Like, it's a great time for them to fight December 11th because after that fight, you're able to cash out me extra Christmas money that I can basically put into spending on my family. You know what I'm saying? So I totally appreciate your participation in not only promoting this fight, but also, contributing to the WCS fund, in affiliation with Team Williams Jr. I totally appreciate that, Conor. Real talk. Let's give it up for Conor. Clap it up for Conor Loco, the one fan of John Bauza. Clap it up. Clap it up. For real. I appreciate you, big dog. And for those other YouTube channels that's out there, just take a little bit of time, promote these young fighters. Just tune in. If you're not familiar with their name, get familiar with the name. That's all you have to do. And because they're not going to get the huge promotional backing or support on TV or whatever. I know some flyers are out. I saw John Bauza flyer. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a Top Rank flyer. That's something that John Bauza created himself, or his people created. And, Michael Williams Jr., he'll be out with his flyer soon enough. Mr. Gumbo, what's good? On deck. Salute to you. My messages are being removed. I don't even know what you've been putting up there. Let me see if what you even put up there. Salute, listen to in from the gym. Drew said he's listening from the gym. MP4 vid, salute the WCS. From what I've seen of John, he was a better amateur as opposed to being a pro. Hey, talk that Viz. That's all. I'm just trying to get exposure for these fighters, and also in defense of what. And y'all be sure to check out Conor Local Sports too. He was one of the first to break this news out, for his boy. That's the first time I actually seen John Bauza on his channel, to be honest. So y'all make sure y'all support Conor Loco. But he knew damn well he was lighting a fire. I'm just gonna pour gas on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna pour gas on that, on this boy, John Bauza, because hey, I gotta salute Conor for being a single fan on YouTube of this guy. I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Gummo. Your message is being removed. You might be putting something in there that goes against the guidelines or regulations of my contextual permissions. And that's all. If it's being removed, that means it's probably some key words that you put in there that goes against my approval authorization. So just type something without any vulgarity, obscenities, or whatever, and then your message will be displayed for real. It will be displayed on here, no doubt. Seriously. I'm not removing your messages. I like to read people's opinion, but I do have keyword that's in there. I do have keywords that cannot be placed in there. So if you think, crazy, and you thought it was going to be displayed on there, hey, that's probably why you didn't see your message, because it included those preventative words that I have in my rule settings. You feel me? But to everyone that's in the live chat, man, you can catch it on replay. This isn't over. We're a couple of days out from Thanksgiving. The fight December 11th. So really, it's only like about 2.5 weeks remaining on this fight. 2.5 weeks remaining, y'all. 2.5 weeks remaining. The fight is going down at Madison Square Garden. On the undercard, Vasil Lomachenko, Richard Comey. And also there's some other names on there that's coming up. You know what I'm saying? Like rising heavyweight Jared Anderson. And I think Nico Ali is going to be on there. Maybe Keyshawn Davis. Going to be on there. Yeah, it's some names. Some names going to be on there for real. Names that you know of. They're going to be fighting on that card. But yeah, man, continue to support the channel. Support the fighters. Support, Team Williams Jr. Make sure you stay tuned in, regardless if I'm not talking about your favorite fighter. Just listen to what the hell I'm talking about when it comes to boxing in general. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about, support. Pete said, when doing especially the holidays, I'm gonna be back on live pretty much, to talk. I got time. I got plenty of time. So I'm definitely gonna try to be on here minimum once a day, but sometimes twice a day. It's according to the content, the topics of discussion that's out here in boxing. You know what I'm saying? Like now that Crawford and Sean Porter's removed, now we have to talk about, what's next. We have to also talk about the other fighters that's coming up. We have the Devin Haney fight and Jojo Diaz that's in the shoot. That's a big fight. Yeah, Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos. That's a big fight. Vasil Lomachenko, Richard Comey. That's a pretty good fight. Another common opponent of Teofimo Lopez that Lomachenko is fighting. I never thought that I'd see Lomachenko fighting common opponents of Teo when he was the one that was on the pound for pound list before Teofimo. I always told people that, his resume wasn't all that. And where he was right now, he still has some bigger names to fight. And wouldn't you know, people, after Luke Campbell, with him stepping in there with Teo, he goes and fight Teo, loses, and then it goes right back down to fighting common opponents. He fought Masayoshi Nakatani. And of course, he went in there and did it. Like that's usually what happened. Just like Terrence Crawford did it better than Errol with Kell Brook. He did it better than Errol with Sean Porter. So now Vasil Lomachenko is about to step back in there and fight Richard Comey, who Teofimo Lopez stopped in 2 rounds. So what do you think Lomachenko is going to try to do? Lomachenko is trying to build up a fight with Teofimo Lopez again for a rematch. So his whole intent is to go in there and try to stop Richard Comey. If he stops Richard Comey in 2 rounds, I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised. I know the F word has been going around. I know Sean Porter has said that, Terrence Crawford versus Kell Brook was fixed. Now I hear Blu-ray talking about the Bud Crawford and Sean Porter fight was fixed. So therefore, I'm pretty sure if Lomachenko goes knockout artist, okay, he didn't stop Luke Campbell. First and foremost, he did not stop Luke Campbell. We all know that Masayoshi Nakatani was damaged goods after Teo's fight. He had a head injury. Then he came back to my bewilderment and fought Felix Verdejo. And he went through a war with Felix before stopping him. And this is all from a fighter who had a head injury. Now he goes in with Lomachenko, he gets stopped. He gets battered. So now my question is, how good is Richard Comey? Because Teofimo destroyed him in the second round of their championship fight when Lopez was able to pick up the IBF championship. Since then, I have to salute Richard Comey for coming back and defeating and stopping a fighter that went the distance with Rolly Romero. You know what I'm saying? He went there and stopped Jackson Mariñez in a damn good fight. And Jackson Mariñez, in my opinion, was a pretty decent boxer for real. Like, he had pretty decent skills. He didn't have much power, but he had pretty decent skills. So then we have Lomachenko, Richard Comey. If he goes in there and stops him in the first round, bullshit. Because Comey is tough. Lomachenko isn't that power puncher. So if that shit happens, man, I'm calling bullshit all night. Just to set up a fight, I'm calling bullshit. I'm bullshit. It better go in there and give us a competitive fight. And that's what it is, man. I don't get the notification, so I don't know the time you on unless I'm checking. Man, you know what? That's been YouTube forever and a day there, Pete. You know what I'm saying? Like, people say that about YouTube all the time. Like, I don't get notifications. I don't know if I ever check notifications. Like, I just log on to YouTube and I go to subscriptions and I see who live. Like, that's just like a common theater for me. I always check the subscriptions on YouTube. I click on YouTube and I see the subscriptions off to the left and I see who read and whatever, and I'll see. I never really get all the notifications. I just check the subscription, see who's popping, and then I tune in. Open my tabs. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm listening to 2 at one time. But yeah, that's outside my scope there, Pete. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's something I cannot change right there, my brother. But yeah, man, that's what we got popping. You know what I'm saying? I really want y'all to support and know who Michael Williams Jr. is out of North Carolina, Fayetteville. But their backyard is over there in NYC. Believe that. They have just as many fans over there as Bauza does. Look, they have more fans over there than Bauza. It's not going to be like, well, who is this guy? No, they have a lot of fans, man. I'm telling you. His fan base is incredibly large to not be a household name that's fighting on Showtime or Top Rank, Golden Boy, any of those top tier promotions, The Zone, Matchroom, whatever. Mr. TKO on deck. What's good with you, bro? MSG, we coming, baby. Shout out to WCS. Scotty White, the best in the biz, and hands up, hands down. Appreciate you there, TKO. Yes, sir. Team Williams on deck. Team Williams is on deck, man. 2.5 weeks out from Madison Square Garden, December 11th. That's where we at with it. And anybody know the team is going to be out there in full effect in support of Michael Williams Jr. And of course, we can talk about the big stage, the bright lights, and everything else. It's time. Fuck it. It's time. You know, the team knows that it's time. The fight was made, and everything else that goes along with it going to bring the results. The performance, we get to see for ourselves which fight is the best between Williams and Bauza. That's what we get to see, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So y'all stay close, man. Follow Michael Williams Jr. on IG. Go check out his IG, man. He have a lot of followers. He have a huge following on IG. Check out his IG. Get familiar with the fighter. I don't know where to find John Bauza. Maybe check somewhere on Pluto or Mars, something out there. I don't know how you're gonna get there, but find something. You know what I'm saying? Check out a quick trip. You know, something. You probably can find him over there. I don't know, YMCA. He might be training up in there, but really don't know what to tell you on that. But check out Michael Williams Jr. IG, Facebook, his pops. You know, one of the head trainers in this fight leading up to December 11th, Michael Williams Sr. You know, I'm definitely gonna have him on sooner or later to talk about this fight. Now that the green light has been given, you know, we definitely gonna chop that up when he have time. And Michael Williams Jr., he's hard at work right now in the gym, getting prepared. So until next time, y'all, turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. I'm out.